Hi everyone, I'm Diana from Discover, and this is a plum tree. These plums are really delicious. Just like the plums in my story today. It's called Under the Great Plum Tree by Sufiya Ahmed, illustrated by Reza Dalvand, and published by Tiny Owl. There once lived a monkey in India with a big golden heart. Her name was Miss Bandari. All the animals in the jungle knew she had a heart of gold and that she was very kind. One day, Miss Bandari was munching on a plum high up in her tree when she heard a groan down below on the riverbank. She peeped through the branches to see the old crocodile, Mr. Magarmach, crawl up to seek the shade of the tree. "Hello," called Miss Bandari. "How are you today?" Mr. Magarmach sighed. "A bit tired and hungry, actually. I'm too old to hunt now." Miss Bandari's big golden heart felt sad. "Would you like a plum?" she asked, trying to cheer him up. "It's very sweet." Mr. Magarmach snapped open his jaws and caught the plum between his old, rotted teeth. From that day on, Mr. Magarmach visited Miss Bandari every day. They became very good friends as they munched plums together. Mr. Magarmach told exciting stories of old about a time when he had been strong, brave, and bold. There were tales of human hunters, lions, and pythons. Miss Bandari clapped her hands and listened in wonder at the adventures of the past. One afternoon, Mr. Magarmach crawled up to the great plum tree. Miss Monkey looked down. "What stories have you got today for me?" she cried. "No tales today, Miss Bandari," said Mr. Crocodile rather quietly. "Instead, I would like to repay your kindness. Would you like to come for lunch?" "Yes, please!" she exclaimed. So Miss Bandari jumped onto Mr. Magarmach's scaly green back, and off they went. On their way, they saw Dame Hattie by the riverbank. She caught sight of them and was so surprised that water snorted out of her trunk. "Where are you off to?" she called. "I'm going to Mr. Magarmach's for lunch," Miss Bandari said proudly. "But King Crocodile lives in the swamp along the river," cried Dame Hattie. "You can't go there. He will eat you." Miss Bandari's big golden heart beat loudly in her chest. She was very frightened. "Is this true? Are you taking me to King Crocodile for his lunch?" Mr. Magarmach stopped swimming. "Don't be silly, Miss Bandari. King Crocodile has heard of your big golden heart, and he only wants to see it." "Well, well," said Dame Hattie, tapping her temple with her trunk and looking very wise. "There's no point taking Miss Bandari there empty-handed. Even my old eyes can see she's left her golden heart back in her tree." Miss Bandari looked down at her empty hands, then at Dame Hattie. Dame Hattie winked, and her eye twinkled. "Yes, yes!" cried Miss Bandari, jumping up and down on Mr. Magarmach's scaly green back. "My heart is in my tree. Please take me back so I can collect it." King Crocodile will not be pleased to see us arrive without it." "You're very silly," grumbled Mr. Margamarch as he swam back. Once they reached the riverbank, Miss Bandari leapt up high in the tree. "Mr. Margamarch, you're the one who's silly. My heart was always inside me and not in my tree. Dame Hattie has tricked you to save me, and she is my true friend, unlike you. Now be gone." Tears rolled down Mr. Margamarch's face as he swam away, knowing he had lost his best friend. Back in the swamp, King Crocodile's giant tail swished angrily. He looked mean and hungry. "Where is my big golden heart that tastes like plum tart?" he snapped. Mr. Margamarch's own heart sank. Dame Hattie and Miss Bandari had been right. King Crocodile was going to eat his friend. King Crocodile bared his sharp teeth. "I told you to bring Miss Bandari to me." Suddenly, Mr. Margamarch felt very brave. "No," he said, standing tall. "I will not bring you Miss Bandari's big golden heart." King Crocodile looked like he would explode with anger. "Then you cannot live in my home for old, lonely crocodiles," he snarled. "Very well," said Mr. Margamarch, slowly swimming away. "I would rather live alone than hand over my friend to you." A few days later, Miss Bandari was swinging between the trees when she saw Mr. Margamarch lying in the river. He looked old and cold. Miss Bandari's big golden heart felt sad. "Mr. Margamarch," she called, "you can live under my tree. It will give you shade, and I will share my plums. But you must promise never to be fooled by King Crocodile again." Mr. Margamarch smiled. "I promise." Mr. Margamarch still told stories from the past, but it was his bravery against King Crocodile that became his favourite story to tell. That was a lovely story, and I loved telling you it. I wonder if you have a favourite story that you like to tell. If you have, we'd love to hear about it. If you want any more information or to buy the book, you can find it in the text below the screen. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Until next time, goodbye.